Hey guys, it's Kussi. Welcome back to the second episode of What the hell am I even doing here? Why can't I just do another Zero to Hero and not hate my life? Feral Druid edition. In the last video, we spun the wheel with the utmost precision to cuck all of you Blood Decay enjoyers, just to simply awake our persona and become the new kitty in town. We also quickly learned that Blizzard values feral players highly after receiving not only a weapon from the LFR, but also pretty much 2 set, Biz neck ring to start our weekly quests, as well as a juiced up Biz item called Accelerating Sandglass, and an even more insane item from the Time Walking weekly quest that only a handful of OGs had a chance to peek at by watching the video till the end. While in this episode, we will claw our way to new heights. See what I did there? Clawing? Because it's a cat. But it won't be just clawing we are doing, we are getting already more used to pressing the pump buttons Feral has to offer. Gained even more items that greatly increase our overall output. I'm telling you, this character is blessed. And we try to advance into the plus 11 to 13 range of keys in order to farm ourselves some crafted mats for the upcoming reset. All of that while experiencing first setbacks on our journey, as well as a rather cursed key in the first week already. I can assure you, not everything will go as planned. So, I'd highly recommend you to grab yourself not only 1 drink, but 2 this time, get comfy and prepare for the Dungeon Overload edition of this journey. So first things first, let me explain what I mean with the little mental breakdown at the start of the video, cause I reckon someone might get the wrong idea. So far this is fun. Feral feels hilariously cool and smooth to play, which very rarely messes you up, unless you press the wrong buttons for 5 globals, while just constantly overcapping on combo points, you always have buttons to press. What is stressful though is that you have awakened the beast, a slumbering monster that just wants to sim, min-max and test everything. Cause I don't know how to tell you this shit, but this ain't a game. WoW is life.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright, so to quickly catch you guys up to speed, at the end of last episode I already sneaked in the item we received from our Time Walking weekly quest. As most of you know, you will obtain a normal raid item for completing 5 Time Walk dungeons, and this is what we gotten. The weapon from Firak, with the extra embellishment on it. Let me tell you how sick this is. With this weapon we pretty much save ourselves 2 sparks for a crafted alternative, because when this thing gets upgraded to 476, the 486 item level crafted weapon is the tiniest upgrade. Just the stats on the weapon are a bit ass, but you can't win them all. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about what's to come and what our goal is this episode. We want to get into plus 11 and upwards ASAP. And the question most of you will ask now is, how many keys did you do, Kussi? Yes, cue the damn montage. Man, I'm telling you, I'm having a blast. Playing tank and caster DPS in our earlier journeys really made this melee playthrough a homecoming for your boy. And as you can tell by this little teaser, this is a full-blown dungeon episode. First week the grind doesn't stop, so let's start from the beginning. After successfully 3-chesting the 7 at Haldazar, we are left with a plus 10 Everbloom, and you know what that means. Big pulls and even bigger pulls. And instantly I ruined the tank's idea of this pull. He goes in, kicks the caster, and then proceeds to pull the next pack, and what do? I stun them. I love this dungeon, man, and I also just really enjoy the damage Feral can whip out, considering we are only at 435 and not even have a force set to play with. And even though I could just queue up 1 trash pull after the other, I can honestly say nothing of importance happened. This sucker got railed in a record time of 15 minutes, easily 3-chesting, and would you look at that? A handpiece, 3rd item we could potentially make to tier set. The luck just straight up continues, man. After this we continue the grind with our own key again, as Blackrock Code 13 was on the wish list. And if there's one thing I can tell you guys, that sometimes it's really good to wait. With not just inviting the first halfway decent DPS, I got really lucky with the 4 stack applying. The tank isn't well geared, but still 10 item level above me, and with that healer, no way stuff goes wrong. But they instantly left the party, one after the other. So I made a group the old-fashioned way. Oh, I also joined the guild recently, as you can tell by their message of the day. They just killed Firak Heroic for the first time, so hit me with the 07 in the chat for those boys. Okay, so I invited a 436 healer and then decided to take this geared tank with this item level 420 DPS buddy, as well as a 460 mage to compensate for the rogue. This way, I don't feel like I'm the one getting boosted. And since we all anticipate the very first pull of Black Rogue Hold, I won't deny it from you.
Got my own shit, I don't need your farm. Life was so hard, it made me weak. Built to last, this girl ain't weak. Sturdy and still when I plant my feet. Got it out the mud, now it's racks in my sleep. Look to God, he supplies my needs.
Also a question for you higher ranked gamers out there. What's the difference between going to the left or going to the right? I think the mob setup is different, but which one is actually better to go for? Let me know in the comments please, as I am actually curious. Now heading towards the second boss, I know my role here as I did this plenty of times back in Legion already. Nuke the effing caster. Kick it, stun it, interrupt it, which is the same as kicking, and kill it. Also, I might should consider going for in-cap roar on these dungeons to AoE CC all the barrages and knife dances. In this chaotic scenario, I might find it a good moment to say that I've read you guys' comment about potentially grabbing some weak auras to track certain buffs and procs, and you're absolutely right, but I already recorded all of this right after the last video came out, so you might won't see them in here, but I will make sure to set a few up soon. Besides those 1 or 2 drive-by deaths every now and then, we got through this one rather clean, which resulted in our first plus 13 key done with a 3-chester, and our trend of getting below the tank in DPS keeps to continue. I'm not happy about this. But we gotten ourselves a 16 Morrison's Rise, which I lowered to 13. I'm not ready yet, alright? Don't pressure me. Yet, while we wait for people to apply, look at me making some gold. I got 5 satchels of cooperation, which you get for applying as a needed roll into the call to arms. Every one of those pretty much grants us 900 gold and a random amount of draconic augment runes, and we got 13 from those 5 packs, and let's see what they're worth.
Oh my god!
So this is about 17k gold. Easy money, baby. And apparently I wasn't the only one thinking about all of this gold, since our tank here overpulled a good amount, which caused us to wipe before the first boss. But look at that, he took responsibility like an adult. What a chat. Tier proved to be as much of an issue as me acing this little minigame filter, cause we here at NoFap won't bust at the sight of this. On Morchi however, I made the rookie gamer mistake and believed in my teammates. While I was looking for the right mirror, I saw in my peripheral vision that they all moved to star. So being the peer pressured sheep with FOMO that I am, I just followed up, just to realize that's actually the wrong one. And the right one is on the opposite side of the area. Don't be like me, don't rely on strangers on your party when you can do the work for yourself. Fortunately, no more marching around this time, so we end this key with a +2 and the belt for our troubles, bumping our score to 437. And while I just completely forget to equip the belt we just gotten, we make our way towards the depths of Vashir to do the dungeon absolutely no one put on their wishlist ever. But we need to bump score and gather some Worm's Crest, so I'm just a hooker at this point. Also, this tank is only around 440 item level, which absolutely does not justify the first pull he pulled out of his ass. Yet you know me, I won't complain about big pulls at all. I also swapped back the Convoke from Incarnation in this one, because about now I've read one of you guys' comment about Convoke being the go-to with the Faucet anyways, so I rather wanted to start getting used to it. Also apparently more boss damage, which we lack a bit currently, so I'm all for it. But even though we found ourselves on top on the DPS charts more often than usual, I was interested in the first boss and my contribution to it. Because on Affliction Warlock, we were just wiggling around for the first few times. So we pull and I die. Yeah, this seems to be a common issue I have. It's not because Ferry got this insane threat pool, it's simply because the weapon effect from Rashon keeps proccing on pull. And if the tank doesn't use an actual ability, we rip aggro pretty often. And as you can tell already, we didn't prepare proper. So we really should focus on not dying from now on. At least doing damage in the ad phase feels a lot more enjoyable than on the Warlock, so I was able to claw myself to 80k DPS even with dying in the beginning. On the second boss, the mixture of the Warlock's Rain of Fire paired with my Thrashes was more than enough to keep the little blobs in place. We are gaming out here. But here comes the messed up part. Yet again, the tank pulled without a proper ability because he wanted to gather a little bit more, and my weapon proc to crit for about 200k just to reward me with aggro and another death. Guess I won't get around buying some auto hammers this series. Ah well, I went outside, potted up, repaired, got back down and reunited with the party to quickly secure top DPS spot on the pull again. Easy. Yet here I figured the actual problem of my dumbass usage of abilities. You see, because I get 20% damage increase for a few seconds after using Feral Frenzy, it would make sense to use it, quickly spend the 5 combo points it gives, and then convoke instantly to ensure that the entire cast stays within the mentioned 20% damage increase window. But very often I just press Frenzy without convoke even being available for it, which caused me to misalign it more often than not. Need to make sure I can abuse this more often. Now, even though we only have about 90 seconds to 3-chest this one, we made quick work of the flashlight boss to secure another 164 rating. But not only that, we got shoulders too. And if you remember, we already have 2 set on our helm and leg slot, as well as that handpiece we got earlier. Meaning, only a few days in and we already got 4 set. A pretty much insane weapon that will be of use for us for a long time, and the Biz Trinket. If this continues, we will be Biz geared in 2 weeks time. Now, after the throne key, I decided to spend my hard-earned gold for some auto hammers, just in case this happens again. Don't want to be the reason for a potential deplete just cause I had to go out and repair. We gotten ourselves yet another Black Rocold key, but I still didn't feel ready for the 16 yet. So I went with the 13 again, just for the crests, and this one went really smooth. Until this happened. Now, could the Paladin have bubble to potentially save us a few seconds to kill 2 or 3 of them off? Sure, but he probably didn't expect that he gets bulldozed that quickly, so we go again. This time, less chain pulling and more kicks, so easy going. Another +3, no score since we did that already, and the +16 darker ticket to our name, which we lowered again, to 14 this time instead of 13. Hashtag progress. So some of you would call this a bit late, but let's talk about affixes for a moment here. Because in all honesty, I didn't even check what the second affix is this week. I didn't even know it's storming until I got hit by it for the very first time. So after waiting for almost 15 minutes, I invited the very first tank that applied and sent it straight through. And we pulled like usual. Double pack with the bear, no lust class, but that's okay. And all of a sudden, I die. It's bursting. The second affix is bursting, and this is easily the most punishing affix out there. Because when mobs are low, those intrusive evil thoughts in my head usually take over and just keep on spamming. And with the lack of death cooldowns on druids, this might be one of the harder ones to live through, considering others usually don't start to do DPS either. But honestly, I just tried to ramble here for a moment, cause unless I had cooldowns up, I just was sitting in everybody else's backpack to get my snobby cat ass carried, and I felt so damn useless that it started to hurt. My boss damage easily was the sole reason we didn't put a +3 on this dungeon, and maybe this was the warning call for me already, but I'm hilariously bad at reading such signs, so I still did the following dungeon. This time, no tuning down. We take the +16 as it is, and the dungeon we gotten was Murazon's Rise again. And not only that, but I yet again invited a 4 stack of players. Hailing from Thrall EU, this band of Germans was supposed to carry me through my first 16. But it seems like they didn't get the message.